Hello, my name is Yaki, and this is Magic Reforged. In this series, I'll be looking at some of my favorite pieces of media and reforging them into currently printed magic cards. Today's topic is perfect for the spooky season. There are things out there within our very world that are unexplainable, eerie, and downright horrific. No matter how hard we try, human beings are too small and insignificant to understand or to even stop the inevitable monstrosities that slowly encroach over our lives. And nestled warmly in the center of this mass of cosmic horror lies the mangaka, Junji Ito. I have gathered 8 cards inspired by some of Junji's most famous, as well as his lesser known work, to recreate some of my favorite black magic cards. Let us begin. You find yourself lost in a forest deep within the mountains. Seeking help, you are chased by feral children into an abandoned village. There, you find its only living inhabitant, a handsome man who offers food and shelter. He tells you his story, a story of strange fruits of blood and lost love. However, this strange man seeks something else. His lies are revealed, and soon you find yourself trapped in his garden of corpses, each bearing the fruits of his hard labor. His preparations are done. Time to feast. Inspired by the story Blood Bubble Bushes comes an alteration of Exquisite Blood. Feasting on the forbidden fruits is the final panel of the story, where our protagonists begin bearing fruits of their own blood for the handsome man's garden. Not only is the original card's name fitting, but the mechanics of turning your opponent's life essence into your own is perfect. Transform them into your very own garden of blood fruits. It is deliciously addictive. After a severe illness, you are slowly recovering from blood loss. Strangely, every day you awaken with blood all over your bed and around your mouth. It must be the illness, you think. All the while, a strange young man has taken a deeply disturbing interest in you. It is then you discover his secret. The man has been feeding you his blood through a horde of bats. Every night they have been coming into your room, spitting blood into your open mouth. Horrified, you run. He chases you, and in the chaos, he is killed. But you wonder, is he truly dead? Now the creatures of the night assail you, biting and taking your blood as his voice rings through. Help me. I need more blood. Following his voice, you see streaks of red and black trace the night sky. Where the creatures gather most, you find his severed head. As you get closer, he transforms into one of them and leads his horde into the night. A sky of crimson falls on you, a last token of his love for you. Inspired by blood-slurping darkness comes an alteration to Blood Artist. Kazuya Tani, one with bats, takes the panel of our protagonist, finding the boy's head as bats feed him blood. Much like the story, Blood Artist's name not only shares with the overall visual theme of blood, but its mechanics as well. Blood Artist takes life from creatures dying, even himself, and gives it to the player who controls him. Kazuya's obsessed love will keep you alive, so long as you can live with the horror of where it comes from. They've been getting longer, nightmares that go on forever. They started with days, then months, and now it is years. You experience entire lifetimes in a mere several hours of sleep. It is a torturous existence for you, but the doctor who has taken your case pleads that your condition is just an illusion of the mind, so you continue to sleep. But as the dreams become longer, so too do you change. Your language and knowledge is alien to all who speak to you. Your body transforms into something horrific, a creature beyond human understanding. No one but you understands the pain of it, but you are told there will be a cure. It is coming. But it never comes. And it finally happens. You experience a dream so long that your body disintegrates upon waking, leaving nothing but jewels of an unknown nature. It is then the doctor finds a twisted resolve to bring about human immortality through your final gift. Endless dreams. Inspired by Long Dream, this is an alteration of Phyrexian Arena. A long dream showcases the panel in which the main dreaming protagonist experiences the longest dream yet. Card draw has had a long-standing theme of gaining knowledge in Magic. As you dream, you gain knowledge, but at the price of your very essence withering away. It is a slow burn, but eventually, everyone will perish to an eternal dream. A scientist is awarded the Nobel Prize for discovering a new celestial body. When asked to name it, he names it after you, his beautiful child. You are showered in adoration, attention, and praise. However, it is soon discovered that the planet is on a collision course with Earth, and it appears as though it is destroying anything in its path. Adoration becomes fear, attention becomes obsession, praise becomes scorn. Soon the whole world turns on you, and people pursue and attack you at every corner. The most zealous believe that through your death, the planet will cease its collision course. It is only through your sacrifice that humankind may be saved. Inspired by Hellstar Remina comes an alteration of Victimize. Remina's sacrifice shows the panel of Remina being hoisted up on a cross and presented to the celestial body of the same name, in the hopes that her death will end the terror on the planet. In sacrificing Remina, others may be saved. However, the irony of sacrifice is that Remina is an unwilling participant, being victimized for others' sake. In the end, the zealous ones who wanted her dead inadvertently saved Remina and the last surviving humans, giving them another chance at life. Grease. The disgusting ichor coats your skin, the walls, the floors, your family. Saturation at 60%. Your family owns a restaurant. Not unusual to have grease around, but this feels unnatural. Your father obsesses over the grease. Your elder brother gleefully chugs entire bottles as if it were his favorite drink. Saturation at 70%. Your brother tortures you every day, his behavior worsening every passing moment. One day, he finally snaps and forces you to accept the grease monster he has become. Your father kills him right before your eyes without hesitation. Saturation at 80%. Even within your mind, you can't escape it. You have nightmares of the putrid sludge drowning you. Suddenly, you awaken to find your father force-feeding it to you. He wants you to become like your brother, preparing you. You manage to fend him off. Saturation at 90%. Grease leaks from the roof like rain. Everything inside your home is coated in layers of it. Even the very air is thickened by its invasive presence. You hear dull, wet thuds coming from the kitchen. You head downstairs to find your father, chopping away at his leg. His blood is no longer anything but that foul, muddied liquid. Grease is all that remains. Saturation at 100%. Inspired by the story Glyceride, this is an alteration of Toxic Deluge. Eruption of grease comes from the nightmare the protagonist experiences from the invasive grease that surrounds her daily life. The life loss is easily represented as the more grease is within one, the more they cease to be living creatures and just become the grease itself. It's a deluge of disgusting, viscous grease drowning everything in its path. You find yourself in a graveyard. You're here because one of your classmates is haunting you. He was always fond of jumping out of hiding and surprising people. However, it was worse for you, his object of affection. It was constant, surprising you wherever you went. He loved you obsessively, but you had no interest and his antics were becoming too much. Finally, he crossed the line and you decided it was enough. Confronting him did the opposite. He decided that his feelings could only be proven in one way. He was killed instantly, and the guilt had weighed on you, but something more sinister may be holding on to you. You arrive at his grave and dig into the soil. There is no way the dead could come back, you say to yourself. The coffin is revealed, and a tiny window to the inside suddenly opens. It turns out, he had one last surprise for you. Inspired by the chapter Jack in the Box in the larger story of Uzumaki, this is an alteration of the spell Reanimate. Spring to life originates from the moment the protagonists watch in horror as the body of the titular Jack-in-the-Box boy springs to life. It's as simple as a body reanimating, but the loss of life is difficult to justify at first glance. However, I believe the thematic connection can come from the boy's death as payment for his return. What he could not get in life, he will gain in death. Decisions are difficult to make, but for you, every decision is impossible to make. Even the task of sitting down has you paralyzed and wailing with fear. Should you bend your knees? Which hand goes down first? Should you arch your back? Should it be straight forwards? Where should you look? Where should your feet go? Luckily, your father has wealth and has had many caretakers come and help you, but your condition is too much for any caretaker and all have quickly quit. That is, until a young woman decided to take the job. At first, she's a bit slow, but soon you find her keeping up with every question. You feel safe, at ease with her help. Her guidance has become invaluable. She has become so close, you feel her guiding whispers tickle your skin. All the while, your father seems worried about her ailing condition, which seems to be worsening, but it doesn't matter. She's always with you regardless. One day, your father bursts into your room in a cold sweat. He seems worried about your condition, but it was okay, because she was there, your beloved caretaker who would always guide you. In fact, she has something important to teach you. Stab. Stab harder. Make sure he never moves again. Inspired by the Whispering Woman comes an alteration of demonic Tutor. Eerie guidance takes the panel where the Whispering Woman has become so close and weathered that she appears almost like a ghost haunting someone. It is as simple and straightforward as it gets, gaining exactly the tool you needed at the time that you needed it most. However, sometimes that knowledge and power can come from places that are more sinister than you know. A spiral. A massive bottomless pit with only a spiraling staircase towards the void below. The architecture feels ancient, older than anything you've ever seen before. You steel yourself and head down into its depths. Step after step, you don't know how long it's been, and there's a dread that looking into the void may end up consuming you. Finally, a light. An opening into a gigantic cavern with the tip of a spiraling tower just below you. You are careful as you climb, but a slight mistake, and now you're falling. You should be dead. Instead, you find yourself cushioned by something soft. To your horror, it is flesh. Human flesh surrounds you, contorted into spirals. Suddenly, a strange sound fills the cavern. You look up and see structures, alien, beyond your understanding of time and space. They swirl into infinite spirals. The structure above them all beckons you. A call so foreign, yet so familiar. It beckons you into its beautiful, endless depth. You must surrender. This is your fate. Become one with its spiraling embrace. Inspired by the climax of Uzumaki comes an alteration of Damnation. The Eternal Spiral comes from one of my favorite pieces of art as it showcases the protagonist's discovery of the truth. There is no survival against the inevitable. Damnation is simple and so effective in its design, destroying all creatures, not allowing them safety and regenerating. No one is safe. Everyone is caught inside its destruction. The Eternal Spiral feels so fitting as everyone inevitably falls to the force of the spiral. Hopefully you all enjoyed this wonderfully macabre trip through some disturbingly delightful alterations to some of my favorite Magic cards. All cards shown today will be available to download and print for use in your next Magic game. I truly enjoyed making this and hope to make more in the future. For now though, bye bye!